We
get
love
40
hip hop.
kills. That I knew how to play my position.
So did he introduce you to the boy?
Nah, I met the boy through Courtney
On
a random street. Well, it wasn't random. It was like Duncan and Adelaide. I remember he's like, "Yo, we're gonna go meet Drake." I'm like, "Who's Drake?" He's just like, "Yo, from Degrassi." I'm like, "What's Degrassi?"
Yeah, because we weren't on it like that back then.
I feel like I did probably hear about it, but it was just like I didn't want to hear about it because I'm like, what does it have to do with my life? But like, yeah, I met him. He hopped out of a Lex, had a chain on. He's just like, yo, it's like, what's good, Courtney? Yeah. It's like, oh, what's good, rich kid? Yeah, all right, cool. And I always say it in interviews. I was like, in my mind at that time, I was just like, yo, I could rob this nigga. Like, I'll rob this nigga. Like, and that was my mentality at the time. It was just either robbing or selling drugs. And I didn't really like look at too many things past that.
Yeah.
Obviously, music was always a thing, but just when I seen something better than what I had, it was just like, okay, I need that. But I also did hear, what was that song? Do What You Do. Or Do What You Do After. I was like, oh, okay, this kid's kind of nice.
Yeah.
And Courtney was like a big fan of him. He was just like, yo, this kid's going to be the next one to blow.
He was already playing on Project Bounce at that time.
Yeah, he was playing.
And Flow.
And for me, it was like, the nigga got Clips on the record. He got Malice on the record. I fuck with this nigga.
Yeah.
I fuck with this nigga. And I think that's even where me and Drake, like eventually me and Drake would link up after his beef with Aristo. I had produced a song for Aristo that was dissing Drake. Drake called me. Drake's like, the song's dope. Let's work. We worked. But like a lot of our conversations where we would be working in Carpet Factory, where then 40 would be in those studios. It would either be 40 or Gordo. A lot of our conversations would be about, yo, Lord willing, how like that's like a fucking classic album. When fucking Hell Hath No Fury came out, we're just like, yo, this nigga can push a T, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy how things just turn out after. Like,
wild.
I was just like, yo, the nigga we were talking about how we both fuck with his rhymes. It's like, then you're beefing with the nigga. And, there was a time me and Drake talked about that too. I was just like, yo, how are you beefing with Pusha? He's just like, yo, it's just, these niggas are coming at me. But I also feel like part of it is, Drake goes at it. Drake is a competitor. And obviously if you're going at his big homie Lil Wayne, it makes sense why you're, trying to defend it.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy because it's just like, I just remember the moments where we're praising this guy. And even like talking to 40 and being like, yo, like, they all know he's dope. It's just you can't now admit the guy is dope anymore because you're in war with him.
That's the
but I feel like you can though. You can. Like,
you could like the Ops' music.
You can. Like I just, you know what? I just seen what was it? Pressa and fucking YG at like some Kodak Black fucking thing at like,
I don't know if they were liking the music that much.
But YG was saying the lyrics to the music. It was but that's the point. Like they obviously don't like the music, but you have to like it to a certain degree
you gotta to know the tune, you gotta like it still.
So I'm like, bro, like, and they could be doing it in jest. Obviously, they're doing it in jest. They're not doing it to say like, yo, we're the biggest fans of this nigga. But at the end of the day, you got to know your enemy like that. If that's really your enemy, you got to know your enemy. Like, you know them inside and out for them to be a worthy opponent for you.
That, right? And not to interrupt you, it's crazy that your first connection, because you went on to do stuff on like the comeback season. And like, but your first connection was like around the Aristo times, bro.
Yeah.
Like, if I could be an emoji right now, I'm the mind-blown emoji, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that's early in the game, fam.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know about that's Drizzy's first rap beef ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like a back and forth. Like that's what, so when I look at what he's done with Pusha, I kind of like go back to that. Like, cause it started with it started with Aristo doing a song on Boy Wonder's beat.
Mm-hmm.
Then whatever issue happened with them, I'm assuming this was like some, Windsor Sports Weekend incident I heard about back in the day.
Right.
Drake getting back at him on that same beat that Boy Wonder did. Also, Boy Wonder apparently had a problem with Aristo using the beat. And then Aristo coming back at him on my beat. So I think this song was called Good Morning. Or
Good Morning, Good Riddance.
No, okay, wait, is Good Morning, Good Riddance the response to that? I forget. But
the response tune from Drizzy is Good Morning, Good Riddance.
Okay. So yeah, I forget what, there was something good. That was in response to the track that Aristo dissed Drake on my beat.
Okay.
And I didn't even know Aristo was using the beat. Like it was one of the many beats I sent him. He used it and put it out. And then I'm looking at Hip Hop Canada and fucking looking at board. Drake diss, produced by Rich Kid. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm calling Aristo like, yo, fam, like, he's just like, yo, my bad, bro. Like, don't worry, like, I'll hit you, I'll compensate you. I never got compensated for it. But, and Aristo, one thing I'll say about Aristo is him and Tony Webb. Shout out Tony Webb, one of my OGs from Ridge. They always pay me for beats. They actually paid me handsomely for beats before anybody, like, in the thousands. So I was just like, they actually showed me I could actually make money on music. And they put me on some singles. I got Sizzla on a single and shit like that. So
shout out Sizzla on a single, but that's
yeah.
dope.
So, shout out to Aristo. But yeah, so he used the beat. He said, my bad, but it's already out. Cool. So now I'm in the middle of this beef, but I don't look at it as I'm in the middle. I don't look at it like, oh, Drake doesn't like me. I don't really care because I'm like, none of these niggas are street niggas, so I'm not really pressed over it.
Yeah.
But then Drake hits me and he's just like, yo, you made that, I guess he got my number from Courtney. And then he's like, yo, that Aristo beat you made, yo, that shit was fire, fam. We gotta work. I'm like, all right, bet, let's work. Like it right? I didn't look at it as a thing, but I kind of also looked at it now in hindsight when he had the beef with Pusha T. Like, Drake is a real strategic nigga.
Strategic as a
He's a very strategic nigga. Like the shit that he did with Meek. Actually, not the Pusha, the Meek shit. It was just like it was brilliance. It was brilliance because the first diss that he did was kind of like. See, that's the thing, man. I feel like the problem is you feel like when you talk about these things, you're going to offend some political connects, but I don't have any political connects. But it's just like, I feel like Drake got Draked when he went against Pusha. Like Pusha did the Drake thing going, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the way he did Meek is almost the way Pusha did him with his kind of like with the artwork.
You set the bait and then man jumps in, sets his tune out.
Yeah.
And here's the haymaker.
Which was crazy to me. And it's like Drake is a competent lyricist. Like, I don't ever listen to the ghostwriting shit because I know Drake got on writing for other people. Like I know his there is no way Drake becomes who he is without writing for other people.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's as a writer, his pen has always been top notch. I've seen him write shit. It was weird to me how the way that battle went because it's like, one, this is a nigga we both said we look up to. And two, it's like, wow, he's beating you at your own game.
Yeah.
Right? And Drake admits to it in that Rap Radar interview. So, I don't feel bad for saying that Drake lost. Drake knows he lost, but it's kind of like the LL Cool J Cannabis situation where it's like, yeah, LL Cool J didn't deliver a better diss than second round knockout.
Yeah.
But he has a better career and that's always gonna suffice. And as long as he knows how to make hits, you're always gonna eat, right? But yeah, that's how I really got with Drake in the midst of his first beef, his first war. And I guess I've always been that a good war arsenal. You know, I'm a good weapon.
I have some questions for you that move on in your career. I want to ask one more Drake question.
Yeah.
What about now, 2022, 2023? You guys still conversate every once in a while here and there?
No, we don't talk. We don't talk at all. We don't talk. I don't go to no OVO events. I don't, you know, working with Remix is the closest thing that I get tied to when it comes to like OVO stuff, like OVO Summit. You know, we help run that. You know, OVO is obviously a donor to Remix. You know, 40 used to work there. Future the Prince was a student in there. We recorded So Far Gone and Comeback Season in there. But like, yeah, I don't talk to Drake. Last time I talked to Drake was when we won the championship, and I seen him in City Hall, and he had come in. There's a whole bunch of reporters chasing him, and it's funny because my niece and my baby moms always make fun of me for it, but like they stuck their hand out to like get a high five from Drake, and Drake passes through everybody, and he comes and he daps me up, and he's just like, "Oh, you good?" Everybody makes fun of me for my Drake impression, but the niggas kind of sound like that to me. Like, "Oh, you good?" Just like, "Yo, man, I'm good, bro. We did it, man. We did it, my nigga." He's just like, "I know, right? It's amazing." I'm like, "Yeah, bro. Like, nah, big up to you, bro, because you really changed the city, my nigga. You changed the city." He's just like, "Oh, thank you, bro. Like, we did this," and that's what I always appreciate about him. He's acting like it's a team effort, like we all did this. Nah, nigga, you did this. You were the golden goose. I ain't do shit.
No, but you contribute. No. When he says this, and I'm gonna give him as his lawyer, his invisible lawyer, right?
His invisible legal counsel.
Exactly. Like when he says it's true, fam, because without, you know, the pieces of the puzzle, like the beats that you made in the beginning, all those different things help to add to his story for him to be here in the limelight now.
For sure.
We can't have the Drake that we have now without all those early pieces, fam.
For sure. I'm just a humble nigga, so I'm never going to pump myself up. But it's like, I feel like, I made some of the niggas earlier, like his transformative tracks, you know, whether it be Presentation, whether it be The Last Hope, those are transformative tracks for him to, especially Last Hope, because I feel like that track was like a passing of the torch, you know, from Cardi to Drake. It's a little like literally, he says, you know, what does Cardi say? Hands blistering from many years of holding the torch, right? Like when they did that on my song, when even Drake told me, he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna get Cardi on this." Like because I have the version where it's just Drake on 2 verses.
Okay.
So when Cardi added his verse to it, I was just like, "Fuck, bro! Like this is crazy. This is a literal passing of the torch, right?" So, you know, like I don't really feel ways that me and Drake don't talk on a regular, because at the end of the day, like me and him weren't the best of friends. We're cool. We're very cool, and I feel like, you know, I'm just happy for a nigga's success. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for 40. Wherever they go with it, you know, they always know they have my support. But they got their friends. I got my friends. You know, it's never been an issue for me. The issue, I think, sometimes comes with people are like, "Yo, how come Drake hasn't put you on, dog? How come the?" But it's like, niggas don't have to do shit if I'm not signed to them. I'm not their property. I'm not an OVO artist. I'm not. You know, and I was always my own entity. I was always creative on my own. So if they feel they can't mold you in a way, it's kind of like, okay, Rich operates in this side over here. We fuck with Rich, but he operates on this side over there, and that's how it's always been. And I've been cool with that. Like, and you got to be cool. You got to be cool with doing you and not feel like other niggas can contribute to your success. You got to be able to fucking do it on your own, right?
Yeah.
We love hip hop.